5 now till the top of the hour. Glad you're with us. 11 days till Election Day and a very important midterm. So many of these races now, the margins are just razor thin. The race we're talking about here is literally 46-45. I've known Claudia Tenney now for a long time. She's a great congresswoman, and she's in the fight for her life. The 22nd Congressional District in New York, a toss-up. Millions of dollars being spent up in and around the entire region, which is north of New York City in and around the Syracuse area. And she joins us now, a Syracuse.com poll. Well, it's a one-point race, Claudia. It can't get any closer. And it's typical of a lot of races that are going around the country. How do you pull this out?
Yeah, it's tough. It's not the race just for my life. It's for the people that live here. It's for protecting the tax cuts. The one time we finally got a real tax cut, direct money into the pockets of the people that live here instead of all the high taxes and spend that we've received from Albany under Governor Cuomo, under the progressive socialists in New York City that basically run our state. And my opponent is one of them. He actually has a lower conservative rating than some of the most socialist, left-leaning Democrats in the New York State Assembly. And he's trying to cast himself as a Republican or a moderate in this district. He's never breathed once the word Democrat. He's trying to deceive and con the voters here and just say, oh, yeah, I'm a moderate. I get along. I work with everyone. You know what he does? He sucks up to Cuomo and Silver and whomever is telling him what to do. And he's one of the 24 Democrats across this country who's trying to deceive the voters by saying, oh, no, I won't vote for Nancy Pelosi. Meanwhile, he's taken a max donation, $14,000 directly from her account. Her dark money super PAC is spending millions of dollars funding by guess who? George Soros, Tom Steyer, who wants to impeach the president, Rosie O'Donnell just did a fundraiser for him in New York City, Governor Cuomo, Alec Baldwin, all these Hollywood leftists who are all in just trying to attack the president and trying to hurt the upper region of New York, where our middle-class taxpayers are finally seeing a break from the great policies from this president.
But no thanks to the governor of New York, I'll say that. And, you know, the district, by the way, approves of the way the president's doing his job, according to the latest polls. And Trump won the district by a healthy, 10-point margin over Hillary Clinton in 2016. I think it was 11 points to be specific. And it's a district that has benefited not because of anything Albany has done. I mean, there was a recent editorial about how bad upstate New York has become under Cuomo. And, you know, I sat with him and he looked me in the eye and said he's going to open up fracking before the last election. He just lied to my face. He did the exact opposite right after he was elected. And meanwhile, Pennsylvania's economy is growing because they are now securing the prosperity of natural gas that exists in their state. And we could be doing the same thing up in your area, and we don't do it.
Yeah, actually, we call it the Berlin Wall. My district goes into Binghamton, Broome County, which is on the border of Pennsylvania. And you see the stark difference between the southern tier, which has lost so many jobs. This is where IBM was actually founded. Now we've lost it thanks to the policies of the Democrats in Albany that have just strangled our economy. We're actually seeing an uptick. I'm a small business owner in this district. Our family business was started in 1946. I've been around the district. I've traveled to 50 or 75 businesses. I have yet to meet one that hasn't praised us for tax reform. And they're saying, these tax cuts we're reinvesting. Every one of them is giving a raise to their employees or a bonus or both. We're finally seeing a glimmer of hope. We've rolled back unnecessary regulations. We could really open up the southern tier to responsible gas drilling. Governor Cuomo will not let it happen. My opponent repeatedly votes against it. And this is how scary my opponent is. We did a debate last night. He has voted 4 times for government takeover of our health care, which is single payer, which would cost the taxpayers of New York. This was bragged about by the socialist-leaning guy who's to sponsor the bill. It would only cost the taxpayers of New York $92 billion in new taxes on an annual basis. It would bankrupt New York. That's all. That's
just $92 billion. What's $92 billion when we already take half your money anyway?
It's incredible.
Pennies on the dollar.
This is the solution. Voted 4 times for late-term abortion. This isn't a moderate view. This is a radical view. This is a guy who is trying to pretend he is I support the president. He's not going to support the president. He's going to support Nancy Pelosi. He's going to support the impeachment caucus. He's going to chime right in with all these Democrats. He's never shown that he has a backbone. He has never stood up to Sheldon Silver. In fact, he was handpicked by Sheldon Silver for the job to get in the assembly. Now he's handpicked by Chuck Schumer, who brags about it, and Andrew Cuomo. Funny, none of them have come to the district to help him get elected. But you know who came to our district? President Trump. The first time in my home city of Utica, New York, in 70 years, we had a sitting president come.
Well, you also had his son Eric up there and his daughter Ivanka up there. They recognize the importance of your race, and that's why I'm having you on. Listen, the only thing I could say is to the people up in the Utica area and northern New York, in that area, this is a district that you can win. It's +8 Republican, and you have about 30,000 more Republicans than Democrats in the district. So you have a political edge there. The key is to get the vote out, because otherwise you're going to end up with a Nancy Pelosi Democrat and Nancy Pelosi as Speaker, and that's going to be a disaster for New York, I can promise you.
Yeah, absolutely. And by the way, they are raising incredible amounts of money. I've been talking to my colleagues all across the country. The amount of money they're dumping into these races to try to deceive the voters is really, it's outrageous. I mean, my opponent is far outspending me. I've always been a very independent Republican. I'm one of the top conservatives in New York. When I served in the Assembly, and I'm still, one of the top conservatives. But we have got to continue to stand up for our values and be able to win these elections. We need to fight the fight, because we got to take it to Washington. We got to support the president's policies, which are creating unprecedented gains. Even in upstate New York, where we have a really tough economy, I mean, we are actually helping our small business community. Our small business community is about 98% of the businesses in my region, and they create most of the jobs. That's who's being helped. This lie by Nancy Pelosi that somehow the wealthiest are the only ones benefiting, it's absolutely false. We voted to make the tax cuts permanent, and the reason Governor Cuomo is suing the federal government over the tax cuts is because his wealthy donors want to leave New York because they're not getting the lifeline that they used to get. They're actually paying more. It's all a lie coming from that side, and we've got to fight. This is a tough battle, because the Democrats have the money to deceive the voters and fool them into thinking that this guy is somehow a moderate. He's not. And I encourage everyone to support us, get the vote out. It's most important. We can beat the wall of money, but we need our Republican voters to understand they need to get out and vote. It's really, really important.
All right, Claudia Tenney running in New York in an important seat. This will tip the balance of power. One of our 30 seats we've identified on Hannity.com is the main, ground zero seats that will literally tip the balance of power. So, Claudia, we wish you the best. Thanks for being with us, and hopefully we'll be sending you back to Congress in 11 days. You deserve it, and New York deserves it. We don't have many good New York politicians at all. By the way, just going back to Director Wray and what he said earlier today, they have confirmed